What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Garage Talks Games, and today I want to talk about a pretty new release that I rolled credits on this morning, and that is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So, first I want to address the elephant in the room in this game. I played this game on PlayStation 5. Not only did I play this game on PlayStation 5, I played this game on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So, leading up in the few days before release, there was a review on it from Digital Foundry that just absolutely dragged the game through the dirt on how horrible the performance was on the PlayStation 5. Now, the awful frame drops, it's really, really bad. It's unplayable, what the internet took from that. And this game has been getting a lot of crap online about how bad it is, especially on the PlayStation 5 Pro, for whatever reason. I'm just going to say this right now. The performance issues of Metal Gear Solid Delta is probably like the most absolutely overblown issue in any game review that I've seen in a very long time. So I played the game for about 10 hours. Like I said, I played through the story. It was actually my first playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 3. I started the original Metal Gear Solid 3 earlier this year after beating Metal Gear Solid 2 for the first time. So I guess you could say it's been a Metal Gear kind of year because, I played two Metal Gear games for the first time in 2025 and beat them both. And anyway, that's besides the point. So, truthfully, I'm going to be honest. I played the whole game on PlayStation 5, and there was never a moment other than here and there for just a brief 1 or 2 seconds that I felt, oh man, I just felt a frame drop. These performance issues, guys, they're not. Let's clear the air on that. It is a non-issue. And if there's anybody out there who's actually played the game, who's not a complete, simp or grifter for everything that Digital Foundry tells you, then they know that Digital Foundry, even though I guess they're technically not wrong because they are showing actual technical things, that it will blow away. I'm not going to say Digital Foundry sucks because, I don't know that I'm really in a place to say that, but yeah, we're going to say it. Digital Foundry sucks, guys. Digital Foundry is poison on the gaming industry. They tend to make mountains out of molehills on any particular thing they find in a game. They are especially super, super hard on the Nintendo Switch 2 in all of their games. But in this particular instance, they were hard on Metal Gear Solid Delta. And the internet, of course, especially on Reddit, oh, that's gospel. Digital Foundry shows this, that means it's the worst game. So, forget what Digital Foundry said. Don't listen to Digital Foundry ever, really. Unless it's the thing is, one of the ways that you can know this is not as much an issue as it made it out to be is if you look at the reviews for the game. Reviews were, really solid. It did get great scores pretty much around the board. And that is because of the fact that, well, first of all, it's the source material for the game is fantastic. Metal Gear Solid 3 is known as one of the best, if not the best game in the Metal Gear Solid series. It was a super popular game on the PlayStation 2 when it came out. And Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is very much, from what I understand, a one-to-one remake of the original Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. So here are my thoughts. First off, guys, that game graphically was incredibly gorgeous. Character models look fantastic. I can't get over just how pretty the game was. The environments were all super great. The jungles were very well designed. Going through the mountains, just the backdrops that you see when you're going up the mountains into the military base were just incredible. And the story of this game, I will say one thing, the game is very cutscene heavy. If you played the first two, let's say if you're a fairly newcomer to the Metal Gear series, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, they had cutscenes, but Snake Eater definitely upped the ante as far as man, there's a lot of cutscenes in this game. There's a lot of dialogue. Some of these are longer. Truthfully, I would say the first 45 minutes to an hour of the game are extremely cutscene heavy. But if you don't mind, movieing out for a little bit, it's telling you a great story with great characters. So, is it the perfect game? No, it is not. There were times where I felt like I was fighting the controls. You do have two options for the controls. You can play either with the classic Metal Gear Solid 3 controls, which is very reminiscent of tank controls, like from the old Resident Evil games, or you have like the modern control style. I did play with the modern. And there are also several accessibility options. You can really make the game as easy or as hard as you want. There's even as far down as a very easy difficulty. I played the game on just the standard easy difficulty, just because I wanted to really take in the story and the gameplay and not worry about having too much challenge. But I didn't want to put it so far down that I wasn't being challenged at all. So, did I die a few times? Yeah, there were, especially there were some bosses that I struggled with. Which, by the way, guys, boss fights in this game, I would say they might be better, if not second only to the original Metal Gear Solid. They're just super cool boss fights. I don't want to spoil anything if you've not played the game. I know the original is a 20-plus-year-old game, but if we just sit here and say, oh, well, this boss fight, I don't want to be spoiled. But for example, the boss fight against the end. Not the end of the game, the boss is named the end. That's a great boss fight. The boss is a great boss fight. The Fury, fantastic boss fight. This game just hits you over and over. Every boss fight is fantastic. You can't go wrong with any of them. I love the characters. This is actually the first game. I believe it's the first game in the series chronologically. I may be wrong on that. I think Peace Walker might come first. No, I think it's Snake Eater, then Peace Walker, then 5. But anyways, I haven't played those games yet, so we're not going to talk about those. There are some survival aspects. You do have to make sure that you've got food on hand. You can acquire that by killing animals, by capturing animals alive, by stunning them. And then, you keep those. You can find rations, you can find ramen noodles, things like that you're going to have to use later on in order to keep your stamina up. Especially, in some of the later areas of the game where, it's a little more taxing on you. You've got to worry about healing up your wounds. And when I say that, I mean, we're going to refill our HP. No, we're healing our wounds. You got shot. You're going to use your knife to dig out the bullet. You're going to use different medicines on it to get the bleeding to stop and to disinfect it. It's so cool. It's okay, kind of be realistic with your injuries here. You got to take care of yourself. One of the new aspects of this game, coming off of the first two Metal Gear games, Metal Gear Solid games, sorry, to clarify, is the camouflage system. You've got several different types of camouflage that you can use depending on the situation you're in. You've got different camo outfits that are maybe better for mountains or for hiding in the jungle, even down to your face paint. There are different styles you use to help camouflage yourself better to avoid being seen by the enemies. So it's really taking the stealth up to the next level as opposed to Metal Gear Solid 1 2. Now, that being said, I'm terrible at stealth games, guys. I'm not good at stealth. Did I get caught a lot? Yeah, I did. I really did. I don't want to say that I went through the game guns blazing, but especially a lot of the areas that are more enemy heavy, Turbo's scratching a post, just ignore that. Turbo being a menace as usual. In some of the areas that are a little more enemy heavy, I tend to get a little trigger happy, either at first by stunning them, or if I found that they weren't staying down to my liking. I admit, I did kill my fair share of enemies. However, in this game, beware. No spoilers here, but if you kill too many enemies, this game will punish you for it at some point. It's going to make your life more difficult in the long run if you go around killing everything. So really, your best plan of action in this game is going to be to put your enemies to sleep, stun them, use non-lethal tactics to take out all of them, as opposed to killing any of them, and that includes the bosses. So what do I rank Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater out of 10? Guys, I want to give it a 9. I've now beat 3 Metal Gear games. I beat Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. I don't want to let recency bias kind of jump into this, but I think I would say that Snake Eater is probably my favorite so far. Followed by 1 and then 2 is below those two. And, you know, I know, like, oh, he said Metal Gear Solid 2 is the worst. Yeah, we're talking about three great games, guys. These are like 3 9 out of 10s at the very least. These are awesome. So now my plea, like, pick a 9. Late last year, you gave us this Metal Gear Solid Master Collection on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch that had Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, and then Metal Gear 1 and 2. Now that we've got the Snake Eater remake out, let's do it. Let's get Master Collection Volume 2 out. Give me Metal Gear Solid 4. Give me Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. You know, whatever else you're going to throw, like probably Portable Ops or maybe Acid. Which Portable Ops, I know, they say that's definitely skippable. You know, they say basically, okay, play Peace Walker after 4. Or if you're going to play chronologically, play Peace Walker after 3. But I really want to play those games now, very, very much. But I don't want to play them out of order. Like, I think I'm going to continue to play them in release order. So give me that Master Collection, because Metal Gear Solid 3 currently is stuck on the PlayStation 3. Or sorry, Metal Gear Solid 4 is stuck on the PlayStation 3. It's never been available anywhere else. So let's get that Master Collection Volume 2 out there. Let's get this on modern platforms, because the people want it. The people want to play it. So anyways, guys, that is my review on Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It is spooky month, so actually it's spooky season, not spooky month. So as I'm going to talk about, we're going to have a deeper horror game focus over the next 2 months. Not every video I do, like this, for example, is going to be horror based. It's going to be a mix of kind of talking about newer games and talking about horror stuff as well. There's going to be streams. I did do a stream of Still Like the Deep earlier today. There will be more horror streams to come throughout the next 2 months. So be sure to check those out. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are creeping up on 100 subscribers. We just have a handful more to go. Less than 10, actually. So last time I checked, I think I was at 94. So let's bump that up. Let's hit that 100 goal. Let's do this by, let's get that 100 by the end of September. I think we can really, truly do it. So anyways, guys, that's the review. And until next time, we'll see you.